Hey, imagine waking up tomorrow and realizing that your country, one that has never recorded a single case of Ebola, is being considered as a quarantine site for people exposed to Ebola abroad. Would you support it? Well, this is the question sparking outrage in Kenya right now. Hundreds of protesters have taken to the streets over a report that Kenya will house a US-funded quarantine site or facility that will be used to house Americans exposed to Ebola abroad. And honestly, it is not hard to see why this proposal or arrangement has generated so much debate right off the bat. Kenya has never recorded a single case of Ebola, not one. So when reports emerge that Kenya will be used to house Americans exposed to Ebola abroad, public reaction was immediate. And for many Kenyans, the issue ain't just Ebola, it is the double standard. If Ebola is considered serious enough that the states do not want potentially exposed individuals into their country, then why should Kenyans be expected to carry that risk? That is the question protesters are asking. And actually, that is where the real conversation begins, because public health is ultimately about managing risk, not eliminating it, managing it. Now, let's this sit with you just for a moment. Your country has no active cases, Ebola cases. An outbreak is happening elsewhere over 1,500 miles away in parts of DRC, Congo, and Uganda. Then a decision is made to bring in potentially exposed individuals into your country. For most rational people, the immediate question would be why? Why move the risk at all? Why not keep it where it already exists? And whether you agree with those questions or not, those aren't anti-science questions. In fact, they are rooted in the same principles public health uses every day. I mean, contain outbreak, limit exposure, reduce opportunities for transmission. And this brings us to the other important point. Public health history teaches us human systems aren't perfect. Even the most developed healthcare system have experienced failures. Even the most well-funded institutions have had lapses. Even countries with enormous resources have experienced healthcare related transmission during outbreak. Now, does that mean that failure is likely? No, not at all, but it means it is possible. That is why the planners of outbreak precisely prepare for the worst case scenario, not because they're expecting a disaster, but because they recognize no system is infallible. I know the supporters or the proponents of this proposal would argue that the safeguards in place makes the risk acceptable, but the critics would also argue that introducing Ebola-related risk, however small it is, into a country that currently has none is unnecessary. Those are two different assessments of the same situation. And that is where the debate is, not whether we have the most dedicated healthcare professionals, not whether Ebola is frightening, not whether international cooperation or relation matters. The debate is whether the benefit of moving that risk outweigh the risk being introduced into a country that currently has none. And if the government believes the answer is yes, then Kenyans believe they deserve to hear that reasoning clearly, not with speeches, not with assurances, with evidence. Because trust in public health does not come by being told to trust. It grows when people understand why decisions are being made. And at the heart of this controversy remains or lies a lingering question that most Kenyans believe they need to hear that answer clearly. what benefit is gained by moving the risk, and why does that benefit outweigh the risk being introduced? That's it. That's the question the protesters and Kenyans at large have. And if only we can answer, you can answer that, we'll all be happy. We deserve clear answers to these questions, not gunfire. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and thank you so much for watching. Bye.